very important. And the last sector is level 4, and there are no obligations for AI annotations. So this one includes chatbots or video games. So, securing pan-national data sovereignty through data standards could be very important in recent approach to the AI. So the left one, which is captured from European Council, there was the report for the EU data strategy. You can see that here, data market size, it is going increase from 2020 to 23. And these data are from international data cooperation. And also, there are similar tendency in Korean domestic market. So Korea Data Agency recently focused that the needs to use the financial AI services is going skyrocketed. And also, there are other global trends in other countries. For example, US, they recently announced a standardization strategy for 8 areas. And China, they are trying to announce a plan to publish 50 AI standards by next year. And Japan, they recently established a strategic council to cover AI policy. So there is the need for international standard for securing data sovereignty. And those are examples for the recent international standard. In ISO, because I'm recently working in the ISO standardizing committee, which is called the Technical Committee 68, focused on the financial services. And here, subcommittee 42 is about the artificial intelligence. And they recently created 4 standards. The first one is the 8183. This is the AI data lifecycle framework, which is focused on the AI data, like training data or test data. And the second one is the 5259. This one is the data quality for analytics and machine learning. So they are from the machine learning industry, and now they are expanded to AI, the overall industries. And the second one is the technical specification, which includes less requirements than normal international standard. Because both of the two in the above includes the standard for the requirements. But this one, technical standard and technical report, it is focused on the technologies. So the first one is the treatment of unwanted bias in classification and regression. And the next one is the standardization need for the application of AI, which is especially focused on the financial services. And recent examples for the financial AI services are the first one, which is created by MasterCard. They offer the decision intelligence, which adopted AI. And the second one is the virtual financial aid assistant, which is provided by Bank of America, which is called Erica. So existing standards are narrowly focused on the data bias and opacity in classification or regression, especially focused on the machine learning. So the need for the standard is going skyrocketed. Okay, then there might be some interesting points in AI ethics. And why is it important? Because we all know that AI substitutes human thinking and it impacts on the well-being of human beings. So the requirement, what does a good AI ethics framework consist of? First of all, privacy violation should be prevented, and the unwanted consequences should be contemplated by thinking about stakeholders. So the next question is that education, is AI ethics being commonly taught in university? I think that this question, Professor Yi might be an expert far better than me, but as far as I know, AI ethics education is not being taught enough, but some kind of universities like Stanford and Harvard, they are recently focusing on AI ethics courses. So the knowledge sharing is very important because the impact of AI and the guidelines for the control of AI fairness should be invented. So the next item is for the realistic AI ethics professionals example, Because here is the picture of the Korean broadcasting companies whose name is KBS. This company is very similar to the NHK in Japan and BBC in England. This one is the public broadcasting company, so they should be focused on the AI ethics more than any other commercial broadcasting companies. And I am also working as the AI advisory committee in this advisory committee members. So the role of this committee is contribute to the innovation of AI, and the members are focused on experts on law, technology, and broadcasting. So if you need to devise any kind of committee when you come back to your professional work, then we need to think about that. First of all, laws and regulations in each domestic countries. So there is also a lawyer focused on the technology is a member of this committee. And the second, definitely there might be an expert for the technology. So here there is the Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is very similar to the Sabah Technology Institute in this country. And I am also in the member of the Industrial Professional Engineers Association. So including me and the professor in KAIST might be the expert in the technology. And the second one, this one is the main area for the business application that AI should be adopted. So in this case, this might be the broadcasting company. So there is a founder of AI Broadcasting Solution Corporation and also newspaper broadcasting professor. Okay, so this one is an example of the AI anchor, because this is the broadcasting from the Jeju Island in Korea, which hosted a 2018 IEEE Region Taxation Conference. And in Jeju Island, there are not a lot of professional anchors like Seoul, the capital of Korea. So they need to cut down the expenses to hire the realistic anchors. So they created artificial anchors using AI. So the advisory area could include the AI-based content production and business and marketing, because KBS trying to sell other contents to some kind of global broadcasting companies like Netflix. So other policy is the ethics policy advice. For example, that the rights of each members of the contents might be used without their notice. So also the standards such as the ISO 42001, this one includes the AI management system standard in the global. So if this one's requirements are cordially followed, it can be also monitored by AI advisory committee in KBS. Okay, so this one is, I'd like to introduce the best example how Korean broadcasting companies use the AI in the realistic contents production systems. I think that most of us might be well known of the Korean demon K-pop hunters. So this one is the solution for capturing the Korean K-pop singers' moments for dancing and singing. So usually there are more than 4 cameramen for each stage, so they need to hire 4 cameramen. But recently, KBS created some kind of AI solution which can replace realistic 4 cameramen into one AI solutions. So they need to cut down the expenses by using the 8K shooting service in the solution, which is called Vertigo. And also, this one is the KBS AI radio broadcasting system. Usually, the production and the production development engineers need to monitor this show contents creation, but in this case, AI monitors the hosts and guests and their speech recognition, so they could create some pilot programs by using the AI. And the second one is, third one is the animation, and this animation is created by AI usually the animation is created first of a computer, but definitely they need to humans association and humans give technical touch. But this one was totally created by AI, so you can see that some movements might not be natural, but we can understand that this is the beginning of AI. And the next one is the AI anchor experience. So including the fans of K-pop stars and many children, they can introduce the simultaneous news entertainment. So they can be the member of the pilot news program in this booth. And the final one is the AI created history image. So this one is the longest existing Korean history channel show, which can show that the 1930s Seoul, which was very old, so they need to hire some actors. They will be showing what could be done in 1930s Seoul, but it will cost a lot of money. So AI, they created the AI artificial actors instead of casting the realistic actors. So this was created by generative AI, and this one is another example I cut down in the Korean Broadcasting Company's production expenses. Okay, so now I would like to introduce the actual guidelines which can be used by monitoring and creating these kind of AI applications. So this guy is the CEO of Korean Broadcasting Companies. So in YouTube, he explains that recent AI guideline announcements by himself. And this one was announced in August. And this one presents AI utilization standards and principles. So this one is the first year of AI broadcasting for KBS. So it can be enhancement of the AI innovations in Korean broadcasting companies. So they created some in-house task force under the judgment that it is very urgent. Okay, so here is the contents of the AI guidelines. So it can be used a good example for another guidelines in business areas. So it is included in the preface and 8 articles. So the first of all, the important point is the protection regulations. Because in order to protect the rights and interests, there are protection regulations, and it will be same for each other countries. So cost verification, including the principle of preserving utilization record, is mentioned, and it should be also mentioned in each other countries. And the second one is the notification and the use of AI. And the third one, the evaluation, should be also included in the future guidelines, whether the contents production is following these guidelines. It needs to be evaluated by professionals. So the confirmation of human is also focused because the person in charge need to officially check whether this one is following the guidelines. So the Article 1 is the declaration of human-centered AI principles. So AI should be a useful means to greatly increase production efficiency, and also it should be used as a means to assist humans. And Article 2 through Article 8 is the normative contents that each employee in the organization should follow. And I think that this will be applied to other business areas, not only broadcasting, but also for the health or finance and other industrial designs. The Article 3 is for the responsibility. So AI content that violates the rights and interests of others should be deleted or corrected, and it should be emphasizing legal and ethical responsibility, and also the public asset protection should be contemplated carefully. And Article 4 is the verification of principles of using AI in journalism. Because we can see that a lot of contents like entertainment and drama, there might be other criteria for the news and current affairs, which is the verification is very crucial to the credibility of these programs. So the news and current affairs, they should prohibit the use of AI or factual research. So the fairness and accuracy should be focused in this kind of creation. So we can see that the criteria for each business area need to be contemplated. And Article 5 is the transparency. So if the AI is used in the production, viewers should notify that it came from AI and the source should be indicated. So the relevant statute should be contemplated, and also we need to preserve their utilization record. From Article 6 through Article 8 is the copyright and personal rights protection. So the 6 is for the protection of rights and interests, and 7 is for the utilization of portraits and voice. I think that this is special for the broadcasting company, but for the finance or electricity or industrial engineering, there might be the other regulations and statutes which is focused on their business area. And this one, unauthorized use of AI training data should be prohibited by the common to every business areas. So the future works will be focused on the prevention of AI bias, because the specific methodologies should be contemplated. For example, securing diversity of training data, because we all know that training data is very crucial to the creation of LLMs. So if the training data is biased or it is drifted, then the result might not be trustworthy. So training data diversity should be focused, and the algorithm audit to find whether these data are biased, and the bias evaluation is also important. And the operational guidelines need to be think in the later, for example, evaluation suite, and the research should be done continuously to enhance the guidelines. So this one is another good example of AI ethics, that the harmonization of technology and compliance with policy is very important. So if any officials who would like to create or devise guidelines need to think about the harmonization of technology and compliance is very important. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce recent research which is done in Korean university to mitigate bias. So this one was published in IEEE Communications magazine 2 years ago, and this was done by the Korean Gungmin University. This technology is called the dataset label bias, because you can see that in the upper position, there is the dataset 1, which is classified as the attack vector, and dataset 2, which is classified as normal vector. But the truth is that normal vector is not actually normal. It is actually the attack vector. But current technology couldn't find out that whether this one is the attack vector. But this technology, automatic label verifier, it enhanced the label data set. So it corrected the normal data set as the attack vector. So finally, it can contribute the performance enhancement of the AI model. So this one was the research done by Korea's Gungmin University. And the next technology is the technology which is called the data drift identifier. Drift means that the tendency that some kind of AI training data are focused on one direction. So for example, we can think about that whether there are a lot of women, there are a lot of men doctors than women doctors, then we can think about that these kind of data are focused on one direction. So data drift identifier is the technology to find easily whether data is drifted. So you can see that this technology is based on the hash algorithms, and they acquired the US patent by drifted data is processed using the minimal hash algorithms which is called Elasticsearch. So it can enhance the performance by removing the derivative data from this kind of test data set. Okay, and the next future technology is the de-biased vector. Because if we express the data's notation in the vector space, which is done by a lot of AI LLM models, you can present that, for example, user might ask that what is doctor? Then if the LLM is not trained well, then they might say that doctor treats injuries, but those men helps people stay healthy. But if they are trained by that there are a lot of men doctors than female doctors, then they might answer like this. So this one shows that men and doctors correlation efficient are higher than women and doctors correlation efficient. So you can see that current in this kind of example LLM models, because this one used the biased vector, so the vector's imagination, the distance is shown in vector space. So the distance between man and doctor are closer than woman and doctor. But if this one, the mitigated bias is applied, then the biased vector could be used. So there might be not there might be not biased answers to the LLM. So this technology is still being researched in Korean domestic universities. Okay, so now I introduce the technological aspects in AI recent policy development. So now we are trying to focus on how AI can enhance DEI, because we all know that AI human technology connection is focused on the diversity, equity, and inclusion, because IEEE Region 10 is trying to contribute the human technology advancement. So AI can be a powerful tool, but they might automate the task like job descriptions, and there might be also risk. So the accessibility should be enhanced by adopting AI technology, and this one will be our final perspective. And data-driven, the DEI training program could be used more effectively if we adopt the personalization strategy by using AI. So if we are trying to devise any kind of guidelines and trying to be AI ethics professionals, we need to think about the potential risks and challenges in AI. As we research in the recent research strategies, there is a bias. So if the data used to train AI model is biased, definitely the result will be biased also, and it can be perpetuated permanently. So the transparency should be focused that whether how AI LLM decide the decisions, and the reliance to the technology is very crucial. And the ethical concern should also be devised by a person in charge in the AI creation policy guidelines, and also the privacy, because this kind of training data might be gathered from the private information. So also the regulation to think about each country's privacy should be contemplated. Okay, so how we can navigate the intersection of DI and AI? Because the understanding of AI, which means that not only the technology, but also the potentials and risks is very important. And the accountability by showing the transparency and historical record, which kind of information is the source of this generative AI is very important so viewers can discriminate. Okay, so by addressing the potential risks and leveraging the benefits of AI, every organization can harness the power of technology. And finally, the role of AI ethics professional is the mediator for the safe and trustworthy AI services. For example, AI data providers like Ministry of Government and associations, then they can contribute to creation of the standard for trustworthy AI training data, and it can be the source of implementation services such as various areas in finance, health, and manufacturing, so contribute to the safe and trustworthy AI services. And finally, the role of the AI professionals will be enhancing scientific understanding of AI and supporting AI service safety, like addressing national AI risk and assessing impacts of the AI data risk is very important. And finally, they can collaborate by internationally and globally, which is the purpose of the IEEE. So thank you for having a valuable time to this issue. And I'm also working as the senior researcher in this organization. So if you have any questions, then please let me know. I'll give you my business card to each of the correspondents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.